It is Thursday, January 17. Here is what's making the news today. President David Granger has reissued his book, The Rupununi Rebellion, to mark the 50th anniversary of the quelling of the Rupununi Rebellion, which broke out on January 2, 1969, less than 3 years after Guyana achieved its independence. The president was serving as adjutant of the 2nd Battalion of the Guyana Defense Force, which had operational responsibility for restoring peace at that time. A brief summary of the book can be viewed on our website. Following the December 21, 2018 vote and the subsequent expulsion of government backbencher Charandas Prasad, the government selected a representative for Region 6. Its pick was former New Amsterdam Mayor Barbara Pilgrim. In this Alexis Rodney report, Government Chief Whip Minister Amna Ali sets the record straight on this election.
Following her oath of office on January 3, new Member of Parliament Barbara Patricia Pilgrim was faced with some criticisms over her appointment. Government Chief Whip and Minister of Social Protection Amna Ali recently explained to InfoHub the rationale behind MP Pilgrim's selection.
There was no other AAFC candidate eligible. The other person was Ramayo as a candidate, but I don't know that he is there any longer with the AFC, and so we replaced the person. This is a coalition, so we use the candidates. We no longer look at individual parties. She was extracted from the coalition.
She said former Member of Parliament Charandas Prasad was extracted for the constituency list in Region 6, which accounts for 25% of the electorate in the National Assembly.
Barbara Pilgrim was one of the candidates submitted at the 2015 elections to represent the constituency 2. She, along with the others, were Pat Wolford, Colin Bino, Ramayo, and Charandas Prasad. And so she was extracted from that list. We found that she was the most appropriate person for us to extract, and so we extracted her because she was a candidate from the list.
Meanwhile, the new MP told InfoHub that her interest in the affairs of communities and the people will be the hallmark of her representation in the National Assembly.
I feel very humbled to be able to serve the people of this region because of my political involvement. So many people would call on me to do some things for them, and now that I'm in this position, I think I'll be able to serve them better. Because there are so many things that, that could be done to improve the lot of the people of this region. And I'm honored to be one of them who would be able to contribute towards that.
Barbara Pilgrim was sworn into the National Assembly on January 3 by Clerk Sherlock Isaacs. Reporting for InfoHub, Alexis Rodney.
With Guyana expecting first oil in 2020, the Civil Defense Commission has prioritized the development of an oil spill response plan. Anara Khan filed that report.
Acting Director General of the Civil Defense Commission, Lieutenant Colonel Kester Craig, told InfoHub the oil spill response plan is in its second draft.
The EPA and some of the key stakeholders already reviewed and provided comments, and we're working to further advance the oil spill response plan. In March, we'll have a broad stakeholder workshop with all the key players that would have roles and responsibility in oil spill response.
The Lieutenant Colonel said a third draft of the plan is expected to be completed by mid-2019. He explained the plan, which is being developed, does not only cater for offshore spills, but onshore as well.
The probability of onshore oil spill is far greater than the probability of offshore oil spill. Because every day you have vessels traversing the rivers with fuel, gas. You also have large vehicles traversing our roads. You have, for example, GPL will have a large storage of oil and gas. You'll have that for the gas station. And you can have a spill there. So we have to put a mechanism to deal with onshore oil spill.
The Commission has been partnering with stakeholders in the oil and gas sector for a number of years, with approximately 100 persons trained in oil spill response. It was also highlighted that through the Ministry of Natural Resources, the CDC has procured 3 containers of oil spill response equipment. For InfoHub, Anara Khan.
Addressing small miners in Bartica recently, Minister within the Ministry of Natural Resources, Simona Brooms, urged that they focus on their businesses as the opportunity is now, and more importantly, avoid being complacent. Here's more.
The minister was at the time responding to a complaint by a small miner of advantage being taken by the large-scale miners who often practice landlordism, the practice of unlawfully subleasing mining allocations. However, the minister was quick to respond, stating that the time has come for miners to take responsibility.
I think it meet the stage where small miners, if you in the business and you're in business seriously, you have to weigh your options, and the opportunities are there. Move from the complacency and complaining into mining, because the land is for you.
The minister explained that a greater percentage of miners would access land, but because of issues with financing, they often allow other parties to mine and they collect the money, yet report that their dredge was parked. But the minister says government has been lending major support to miners to avoid these incidents.
And the government bend back and forward. They got the land without it before they even paid off for it. Before it is even converted, they were allowed to mine. They have the support of GGMC sitting on the board. Monthly meeting, they meet with me at their request. There's no timeline that we meet once a month or twice. Anytime. I have an open door policy because, you know, the challenges of the smaller miners is different. So sometimes they would need your guidance and support. And since the initiative, I was overseeing the initiative, I had an open door policy on that.
Acknowledging that there are challenges at every level, the minister noted that the bigger miners have their share as well, but that government would not sit back and allow bullying and landlordism to take place. She urged small miners to also not practice these tactics. Reporting for InfoHub, Felicia Valenzuela.
The Ministry of the Presidency's Department of Social Cohesion with responsibility for sport has noted the lack of basic journalistic etiquette in maintaining balance in a story aired by the newsroom on January 10. The story centers on the president of the Guyana Boxing Association, Steve Ninval, calling for the implementation of the national sports policy. The department made clear that contrary to the report, the national sports policy is being implemented, even though the final document has not been formally adopted by the Parliament of Guyana. It has been released post-research and consultation for public consumption and implementation. According to a release from the department, as it is, multiple sectors, agencies, stakeholder organizations, and sport associations and federations have started doing their part in effecting the necessary changes within their respective fraternities. Further, it notes that as a former senior staff of the department, Ninval was not only aware but was also part of the process that led to the materialization of the draft national sports policy. Deeming the article as malicious and misleading, perhaps even politically provoked, the department noted that it was also quite clear the author of the news piece had poor knowledge and understanding of the youth policy and its content. More on the story can be viewed on our website. The town of New Amsterdam has been transformed over the last few years, and residents are thrilled to share the news. Details from Alexis Rodney.
From major road repairs and expansion to a 24-hour water supply, residents of New Amsterdam are beaming with pride over what they believe is the beginning of greater things to come. InfoHub was in the region on Sunday and heard of the great work being executed under the coalition government.
Most notably, I am impressed by the road works. They've been ongoing since. And I'm a photographer, so I have pretty good eye for detail. So I've been walking around, taking nature shots, so forth. And where we are right now, the Esplanade Park has improved a lot. As you can see, we have various infrastructural works done. We have some Ben-Apps now that families can come out on any day and feel welcome, feel at home, feel relaxed. So the parking itself has improved a whole lot. And for me, I'm impressed overall with the standard.
For the past 3 years, I've seen a lot of improvement and development take place in Amsterdam, in Kanji, even up the East Bank. Right now, the road is like 90% finished, right? In any next like week or say couple months from now, we get a brand new road. You get enough works going on in the villages, trench digging.
A lot of improvements done on roads, streets that we're going to use, we're getting for use now, especially in Stanley Town. I could call 50. 50 was a track and a dam for the longest while until this year here we start seeing street. 50 Stanley Town is a street. Pavement, drain, and so on.
Added to that, the administration is being praised for the installation of streetlights from New Amsterdam to Everton and the East Bank of Berbice, investing in drainage and irrigation, the rehabilitation of schools on the East Bank of Berbice, and providing ICT and free transportation for school children. Reporting for InfoHub, Alexis Rodney.
Still to come, CJIA records highest passenger movement in 2018 and early childhood curriculum policy being developed. Stay with us.
Dogs again, and no mailbox.
Don't let this happen to you.
I'm so happy that I get this mailbox. Now I get an mails. You know how much times GPL come and disconnect me life because I couldn't get my bill? I will notice. Anyways, girl, the post office encouraging all residents to install a mailbox so they can improve their service to us.
Get your mailbox today and help the Guyana Post Office to serve you better.
Welcome back. The Chedi Jagan International Airport says it has recorded the highest passenger movement through the country's main port of entry in 2018. Between January 1 and December 31, 2018, some 630,143 passengers were processed as compared to 2017, where 592,053 passengers were recorded. According to airport officials, this represents a 7% increase from the corresponding period the previous year. Additionally, for the first time, arriving passengers represented a larger percentage of the total number. Minister of Public Infrastructure David Patterson attributed the marked increase to government's sound economic policies and its unwavering advocacy for an enabling environment for investors, including the introduction of a new airline. More on the story can be viewed on our website. The Child Care and Protection Agency is in the process of developing a policy for early childhood curriculum. Here is Anara Khan with that report.
During a consultation meeting for early childhood care and education, representatives from the Child Care and Protection Agency, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Public Health, University of Guyana, and UNICEF were engaged in discussion on the development of an early childhood curriculum policy. In an invited comment, Executive Officer of Early Childhood Development, Laverne Thorne, explained.
Responsible for the 0 to 3 age group, which in the daycares and playgroups, we want to see how we can have a curriculum guide or curriculum goals set for this age group, this particular age group, because we want to have a standardized system whereby children are not being left alone or caregivers are not just doing child minding, but they're actually focusing on the total development of the child. We want to have a document so that they can know how to do what they do.
She noted that the implementation of an early childhood policy is not a new concept.
This is nothing new. We have countries like Jamaica that they would have done it already. They have the curriculum. Worldwide, you have curriculum goals or guides for the 0 to 3 age group, and our children are no different from the world. So we have to ensure that our children are given the best possible start in life to ensure that they can meet their full potential.
Thorne said through the consultations, she hopes it will form a better collaboration between the agencies. She also noted that the first draft of the document is expected to be completed by September 2019. For InfoHub, Anara Khan.
Minister within the Ministry of Social Protection with responsibility for labor, Keith Scott, earlier today welcomed a group of visiting directors of the Caribbean Confederation of Credit Unions. Details from Rebecca Ganesh.
Minister Scott said the government recognizes the need for the revitalization of the credit unions in Guyana and, as such, are taking the necessary steps to have the unions back on stream. The CCCU's president, Winston Fletcher, from Jamaica, explained.
We're here to see how things are going, to share some concerns that we may have, and to see how together we can go forward.
Minister Scott pointed out that while steps are being taken to have the credit unions become viable again, some of the existing laws will have to be changed.
We are excited to do that, and that's why I said I'm prepared to send my people to you and every year to any conference we have, and let them bring back to us the benefit of whatever you have to give us.
The Caribbean Confederation of Credit Unions, CCCU, generates knowledge exchange through discussions on issues impacting credit unions and other cooperatives so that the goals and visions of the movement can be realized. The CCCU is an affiliate of the World Council of Credit Unions. For InfoHub, Rebecca Ganish.
And that's all for this evening. Connect with us on WhatsApp, like and subscribe to our Facebook page for notifications. You can also follow us on Instagram for updates and visit our website at dpi.gov.gy. Your bridge and weather reports are up next. Goodbye.